Wrestle Matts here, coming at you with one of SummerSlam's greatest matches. We're reaching all the way back to the 90s, baby. 1995. We're talking SummerSlam. It's Razor. It's Heartbreak Kid. It's an IC title and a ladder match. Matt Kelly, welcome back to the 90s.
Man, this match definitely teleported me directly to the 90s for so many reasons. I mean, hell, if you're just looking at the screen, look at the way that Razor Ramon looks, look at the way that Shawn Michaels looks, and that should transport you back to the 90s. And then you turn on this match, you got like the 4x3 format, you got the just the way that television looked back in the day. The camera cuts, everything about this. Oh man, you look out in the crowd. Holy crap, the crowd is so 90s, man. But I love this as a throwback.
Yeah, it's just such a different era. Like everything about it, we're so used to watching all the current products, so it's kind of hard. Like at least for me, we went from back-to-back SummerSlam matches. The other one we're covering, it's on the channel as well. Relive. You're going from 2024 to 1995. So to me, that's what, 25 years, 29 years, something crazy like that.
I mean, it's just the most stark contrast, maybe of our series, right? Of matches that we've done to this point. The contrast of that being in an outdoor stadium to this being in a tiny indoor arena. The standard definition television, the HD television, the style of wrestling, the style of storytelling, so vastly different, but in a fun way.
Yeah, it's just two polar opposites. We've got on the announce table one of my I guess least favorite duos I've heard so far, Vince McMahon and Doc Hendricks. What were your takeaways from the announce team?
Not good, man. Not good. It makes me really appreciate Michael Cole, Corey Graves, Wade Barrett, Joe Tessitore, Pat McAfee. Yeah, man, it was a difficult listen, and I think it was in an era, and I'm sure we'll touch on it as the match kind of continues to go here, but they're like, ooh, what is happening? Why is this? Why? Like, it was just kind of almost cartoony in a way, the way that they were approaching, kind of trying to suspend belief. And so for that reason, it was very difficult to listen to. No fault of Shawn or Razor, but just a tough listen. Not my favorite style of commentary.
No moves were being called. It was all color. That's what it felt like.
That's a great point. Yeah, that's a great point.
I don't think I heard like a suplex or anything. And maybe that's like Vince McMahon's flaw is he's more of the entertainment side. So
yeah,
we shouldn't expect that. But to me, like that was a big takeaway. Like, oh, this is gross. But yeah, it seems like from the get-go, this match is kind of, I wouldn't say like bitten in the ass, but the belt's too high or too low to start the match. Not something you see, just technical difficulties. To me, though, this is a lot of beginning of it. It starts out really good. It's a lot of back and forth. You get Shawn Michaels, Razor, both their faces. That's kind of hard to do, especially in the mid-90s. You don't see a lot of face versus face matches. To me, before the ladder even gets involved, I really enjoyed this part of the match.
Yeah, it was interesting to see when the ladder was exactly going to be involved, because if you draw it out to today's ladder matches, you expect the ladder to be introduced almost instantly, right? And it really kind of took a while. It was kind of really just a 1v1 match for the longest time. And, in the entrance itself, I think they were trying to be creative in the sense that they either have to walk around the ladder, there with Razor. I think Shawn climbed it on his way, to the ring and then came down the other side and that sort of thing. And so, yeah, you are kind of wondering, like, okay, when's the ladder going to be introduced? And when it was introduced, it wasn't introduced for the purposes that we typically think of today of, going directly after your opponent. It also wasn't black or whatever. It was like literally the orange Home Depot ladder that you would go buy out of the store today that still had like the warning label on it, So those little things make you think about how far and how much thought has kind of went into today's product.
This is only WWE. I think there's been a total of 2 ladder matches before this, but this is only the second one that WWE says. This is only the second ladder match in like its whole, that's like the second steel cage match. Like, still like a very early stage of, and then you have this, from what I remember this ladder match classic from WrestleMania 10, where everything's innovative, everything's like done differently. So then you have to come back to WrestleMania 11 and do it all over again. And that's got to be kind of hard to do as well after you have this like 5-star match. And then you're going back to like a year later.
I was almost wondering like how much was played out and how much was different from exactly what you're talking about, because in this match, Shawn specifically takes some nasty, nasty bumps, man. And it almost looks like they've never done it before. And to your point, they really hadn't for the most part. And so you're trying to run it back in a way. But Shawn, his heel gets hit. I think there's like a suplex off the apron or something, and his heel catches the guardrail, which the guardrail itself, we kind of just saw it make a little bit of a comeback at Saturday night's main event. And it's like the crowd is just, man, they're right there on top of you. So you don't have a lot of wiggle room for error. And there was enough error for Shawn to clip the guardrail there. And I was like, oof. But then you see the bumps that he kind of takes off the ladder as well, where he gets straddled on top of the ropes or his knee gets bent over the top rope coming off the ladder. I mean, there's just so many things that you look at today and you're like, that probably wouldn't happen. They've probably worked out the kinks. You're taking this out, these risks out of this match. It just looked dicey, honestly.
Yeah. And it's all innovative too. So it's hard, like, mentally, you're having to book a wrestling match on top of this. And I enjoyed the latter part, but I was like, man, if I would have just watched a regular Razor versus Shawn match, I might have been just as pleased. Maybe more pleased.
Yeah.
I just think like it's one of those that's everybody remembers as like one of the greatest. And this is these are two of my favorite wrestlers of all time.
Yep.
But I love like the early stages of the wrestling match, and it's false finish or not. They're both like trying to get their finisher in. Mm-hmm. That's a really cool aspect of two faces. Like, oh, we're just, I almost got you with the razor's edge, almost got you with the super kick. I thought that was really like maybe innovative at that time for two faces to kind of square off and do. But when they got the ladder, that's when it kind of like, it almost lost me. It was like a little bit of such a slow pace. It was like I was crawling to the end of this match once the ladder was involved. And it seemed like the ladder just didn't want to work for the wrestlers.
Yeah. And you got Vince on commentary, at a couple of points saying like, oh, did they mean to hit each other with the ladder? Are you shitting me? Yeah, man. they meant to hit each other with the ladder. Like, I don't know why they weren't leaning into that at that particular time. Obviously, later on in the match, they're shaking each other off of the ladder or pushing each other off of the ladder or kicking each other, so it gets a little bit more physical and a little bit more intent or a little bit more, straightforward in the use of the ladder as the match goes on. And obviously that's a good thing because it kind of gives us the iteration of ladder matches that we have today. But yeah, that part of the match just felt like you could have just leaned into it, right? You could have just went after it and kind of not had that lull of that part of the match. And then, the end, was the end supposed to be the end, Maddie? Like, I don't know.
End was... Well, that you get some like cool moments, and then you get basically, like I said, there's a lot of damage to Shawn Michaels' knee. He takes a big punishment throughout this match. So kudos to Shawn Michaels, but for his athletic ability, I think you kind of missed on a lot of what Shawn Michaels is capable of. Razor Ramon, another one, did a good job, but it was just so early in the ladder match. I don't think it clicked like it should have. There were some okay spots, but overall, telling a story was kind of monotonous and slow. But the end, you get the two guys, both each have a ladder, and Shawn goes for the super kick, misses him with the super kick, which you never see, is just clear as day. And then he goes to jump for the belt. Makes sense. Belt doesn't come down. He just eats shit. Real awkward.
Yeah, he looked kind of pissed off about it.
And that's when you get that Shawn Michaels that you love. Like, you can tell he is who he is in the ring, and he's throwing a temper tantrum. And this is shades of what you'll get the following year versus Vader at SummerSlam 96.
Sure.
So it's just funny to see like mullet Shawn Michaels in 95 was probably, you didn't want to be on this guy's bad side, especially in the ring. So freaks the fuck out. eventually gets the belt. You know, Razor's a consummate pro. I think he comes in, acts as like he's going to Razor's edge him, throws him over the top rope. Perfect, like, way to kind of – I think that was a good move. I don't think that was planned as well. I think that was just two pros doing their job. But you get Shawn winning this ladder match. And now I kind of want to go back and watch that WrestleMania 10 ladder match after seeing this one and just see if it was as good or if it was just maybe my taste wasn't because I'm so up to date on the product and ladder matches and violence and brutality. This one kind of just seemed weird. So Matt Kelly, overall, this match, you know, we've been rating 1 to 10. I've been biased on certain guys like Christian. I'll probably be a little biased on these two, but I want to hear your rating of a 1 to 10 on the Razor Ramon, Shawn Michaels match.
Yeah, I mean, to your point, they're two of the greatest to do it. They're two of, I know you said they're two of your favorites. They're two of my favorites as well.
Right.
And so it was weird to have not seen this in a very long time. And then to go back and like, I kind of had a little bit of expectation in terms of just like the modern day ladder match and what we see. And then to not get that at all, not at all, but it was a much slower pace, a much different, work rate, a much different, almost a much different, like, I'm trying to think of exactly the word, but they weren't in a particular rush to immediately try to go grab the title. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like they weren't trying to end it early. They were really trying to kind of beat the hell out of each other first. And so that was a little different too. But all in all, man, for everything that it was, I'm probably right there at a 7.5. Yeah. I think is where I'm at with this particular match. And it's just one of those things when you're absorbed in the current day product and you see the iterations that we're getting of ladder matches, and then you go back and watch this. I mean, they're building what we now know as the modern day ladder match. So I don't fault them, but that's just how I enjoy the match presently.
Yeah, and I'm kind of right in lockstep with you on that. I don't think the match needed the ladder, and I think that was just kind of where we've evolved. So it's like, oh man, I love the performers. I didn't love the match. Okay. So to me, it was super slow. It was terrible. But I am like you. I don't think I'd watch this one again. Kind of in that same aspect of I enjoy the performers. I just didn't enjoy this match. But because I am a homer, I think a 7 is my rating. Like, I think I could, if this was probably two other performers, I could have probably went to a 6. I think they did such a good job at the beginning of the match, setting the mood, whether it was their promos, whether it was the back and forth for faces. I think that was how you book faces, like to start a match, like back and forth, great wrestling, chain wrestling, just machismo was there. But yeah, the ladder just, and like I said, it might just be a product of my environment. 29 years is a long time to, have ladder matches.
The only thing that I heard you say was that Christian is a much better wrestler than Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels. That's exactly what I just heard. I don't know about anybody else.
If you put Christian in this match, Jesus Christ. It was like I said, a lot of people have it in their top 5 SummerSlam matches of all time.
I don't even think it makes the top 5 of the ones that we've reviewed, to be quite honest.
No, not I don't have it as far up there. It was definitely, I would say, I guess, let down. I mean, it's sad to say that any Shawn Michaels Razor match, but and I mean, this could have been Shawn Michaels versus Sid, but they were like, oh, we're not going to do that. So just weird how things work out. If maybe a Sid Shawn match without the ladder would have been a better story for that SummerSlam in 95. Who knows? It's 29 years ago. Let us know what you think. And if maybe this one didn't tickle your fanny, I think you're going to like our next review, which was the Rhea Ripley versus Liv Morgan with a little Dirty Dom in it. Check us out. All our matches, all our podcasts, and everything else across social media at Wrestle Matts.